Now, some of you may remember a little while ago I bought this 57 plate Panda 4x4 that I decided was just too rough to retail, and I bought it home because we've got a few fields and I thought it'd be a useful little truck to run around in. Also, I could teach Brooke to learn to drive in our fields as well in it because it's got the ground clearance and so forth. Well, I've let this thing sit for about 3 or 4 months now. It just started up on the button with the top down jump pack, of course, because the battery was a bit flat, but it sounds like its own machine. It's running really, really nicely. Now, due to being so busy with work, I've let the fields get out of complete control. We'll go down in a minute, you'll see how long they are. But we're going to see how well this little Panda 4x4 does with plants and grass and stuff that I'd say is probably easily up to the front of the bonnet. So I'm going to bring Brooke along with me to do some filming. So we're off on a garden safari. I'm going to give the camera to Brooke to record. Let's take that thing down. And we've cleared a little bit of a patch in the middle of the garden with a strimmer, but it took forever just so we could get the ride-on mower down here. Everything is in need of a lot of cutting back down here. We're about to see exactly how long this all got. It's all very long around the pond. I'll go into first gear, I think. Right, let's hit it through the plants. It's ploughing through all this undergrowth to make it a bit easier for the ride-on to come through. Now we're going to get into the worst field, the bottom one, and that is completely overgrown. I'm going to have to push some little trees out of the way as well, I think. I think there's a fence post down here somewhere as well. Yeah, oh, go. We've lost about half the field to plants growing on the inside of it and so forth. It's a little goat, isn't it? A little goat of a car. I think we'll drop Brooke off and get her to do some recording from outside the car so you can see how much of a little goat it's been. I love these little pandas, they're so brilliant, these little Panda 4x4s. They rot for fun, but those little 1.2 petrol engines go on forever, and that little four-wheel drive system is brilliant. We have had a tree-related injury, I'm afraid, guys, but that's what it's here for. Oh, and we're stalled. We'll have to glue that back on. So this is the scene of Brooke's first official crash, or do we just call it a bump? She took the tree out. We found the cover down there. Oh, we've still got the cover. There we go. We can glue it all back together. So gameplay is over. We've got no drive. We stopped the car for a minute to swap over between Brooke and I, and she turned it off. I got in. I've got a clutch pedal, and if you move the clutch, Brooke, the clutch arm is moving. Did it want to go nice again, did it? Is it? Do you want to try starting it up and moving it forwards then? There's the key. Oh, have I taken it off with me, have I?
I think.
Right. Just try driving it forward a few feet. Don't worry about shutting everything down, it's just... You're not in gear, darling. Oh! Right, I wonder if something got too hot. Maybe something got too hot. We had no drive at all then, and it's just something's freed up. So, alright, panic over. I thought we were going to be left with it abandoned down here. So I need to lubricate some parts of that, I think. I wonder if the clutch release bearing's stuck on the shaft, or whether the those slave cylinders and they're quite prone to it. It was moving, but it wasn't moving an awful lot, was it? Anyway, back to prattling around then. Now, as I got fed up with spending the budget of a small third world country on filling up the Range Rover all the time, I decided, with the sun out and the road's fairly clear at the moment before the holiday makers are down, I thought I'd get the little Swift out of the corner. It's been sitting in the corner for a couple of months or so now. Started on the button, no problem at all. Its battery stayed charged somehow. And yeah, it started on the button, drove it home and back last night again, and almost forgot how much fun these little cars are. It is looking a bit worse for wear. It needs a good old clean and a machine polish. But yeah, they're so much fun. I know I keep going on and on. If you watch my channel at all, you know I go on and on about these cars. But this has to be one of the best purchases I've made in all of my car buying. It's just such great fun to drive. But it does really good fuel economy as well. I could drive this around for about a third of the price of driving the Range Rover around. Two completely different propositions, of course. This is just a screamy little hot hatch that isn't massively fast, but just handles so well, like corners so well. Every journey can be fun. That's like, I just want to get home, sit in an armchair. Yeah, like I say, it's looking a little bit worse for wear, but like I say, I use it for a bit of track days and stuff as well, don't I? I just put a cover on the seat since it got wore out, didn't it, when it was hired out as a loan car. There's a few bits and bobs. It has decided to fix its own engine light though. On the last part job, I had an engine light for a oxygen sensor, I think it was, or catalytic converter, which seems to have self-fixed itself. It seems to have fixed itself. I think it needs a clutch. I know it's not the gearbox because it's in every gear. It's getting a little bit crunchy, and I've known that for a long time. So I think we need to get that done soon. But other than that, it's just been absolutely bulletproof reliable, regardless of how much it gets abused. So if you do need sort of a sub 3.5, 4 grand little car to hoon around in that you can have a bit of fun in and still do your commuting in, you haven't listened to me yet, go and buy one of these before everybody catches wind. Update on what's selling. We've had a subscriber put a deposit down on the Ford Ka to come and see it on Saturday. So that one, the deposit is non-refundable, just £100. It's non-refundable if they don't come and view the car, and I've turned other people off in between. But if they come here and obviously they aren't happy with the car for any reason, it is refundable. So it's not ideal to have a car sitting there, you know, waiting for someone to come and see it a number of days, you know, in the future, because lots of things can happen in between. But he's paid his deposit, he's agreed those terms, so that's fair enough. I don't see why you would say no to it, because it is pretty damn mint. It's a one owner from new, full main dealer service history, and conditions are really good. But as we've seen in previous videos, you know, some people's opinion of condition is different to others, so we'll see what happens when they come along. And the Mokka's sold. The automatic blue Mokka over there has sold as well. So those two have gone. I don't imagine the Yeti will hang around. That's going to go in for paint next when I get the Clio back, that I had, the automatic Clio I had in the previous video. So I've had a couple shift along. I've got a row of Hyundais that need sorting out. Got what, 1, 2, 3 Hyundais and sorted out. I've got the i10, just needs a wheel refurb and a new MOT, I think. I've got the i20, needs a wheel refurb and an MOT. And the i30 automatic that needs a valet and an MOT. And then we got a little Yaris automatic I bought over there, which a lot of you said in the comments, so you're absolutely right about driving them. They've got the manual gearbox driven by hydraulics, and it is quite dim-witted in the first couple of gears. In those low, high revving gears, when you're in first and second, you feel it more. Once it starts getting the third and fourth, when the speeds are up a bit, and there's a bit more momentum behind it, you don't notice it so much. It's a smoother change, but it is what it is, and older automatic, isn't it? And it's a bit like a CVT gearbox. You just need to sort of let your foot off the gas a little bit between the changes. If you keep your foot planted to the floor, the changes are always quite rough in those type of gearboxes. But we need to, next one we need to put in and get the brown C-Max in. Now it's got its fresh MOT and its fresh cam belt on its EcoBoost. We need to get that and get that polished up and up for sale, because the MOT is ticking away now. That is not from Joe at Shifting Metal. A lot of people have been going, that's Joe at Shifting Metals one that he took in. It's not. It's the one I took in part exchange that needs a cam belt. It's just the same colour. So the Focus has now obviously gone up for sale. So's the Note. The Note got a call like within about 20 minutes of going online, but the chap was in Wales. I don't know why, and then went, oh, it's too far away. I don't know why he needed to call me to find out where I was. It was on Auto Trader. Tells you distance on there, doesn't it? Anyhow, so that one's out for sale, and I've just got to put the videos up for them. The only thing I haven't done is, oh yeah, I've photographed the, I don't think I did need photographs, it's pretty boring. I just gave it a clean and photographed the Nissan Qashqai, the 1.5 diesel 2018 one here, which didn't need a lot because it's so damn clean. It did not need a lot at all. But I've done a video on it, and I've done a video on the other two, and I find the videos do help sell the car, so it's quite important to get those up ASAP. Interesting, I run the Nissan through Auto Trader, and it came back that its current retail value is 3,995, which for a 64 plate note in this condition and this spec, with all its reversing, its 360 cameras, its cruise control and all that, seems mad. It's actually losing me £300 if I sell it at that price with the work I've had done on it, because we had that timing chain done, didn't we, which I'm not entirely sure it needed. And it's now got its advisory free MOT. It seems a very cheap car in the current market, doesn't it? 3,995 for a 64 plate car. I know it's got 100,000 miles on it, 101, but with the timing chain done on it now, it's set for easy another 100,000 miles, isn't it? It's wearing pretty much brand new Michelins all the way around, cross climates, they're pretty much brand new. I'd say the paintwork and interior on it is bang on. He's absolutely bang on. So yeah, compared to everything else, this sounds mega cheap, doesn't it? Mega cheap. I mean, you pay that for a 2012 Hyundai i10 with, say, 60 or 70,000 miles on. I don't know how these algorithms work. Now, obviously, the people will say, well, you're selling it too cheap. At the end of the day, when I advertise on Auto Trader, if it says a 3,995, I think I'm £100 more than Auto Trader. So if I put it high, they'll say high price, I just won't get the call. Sometimes you just have to eat it. Dealers don't always make money on every car. So this one has been a lesson learned. The problem with this car is I saw it going across the block when I was at G3, and it looked like a cheap car, and I hadn't actually done my research on the retail value. Well, again, I had the timing chain done, which probably got added another £500 of cost that wasn't needed. But it wasn't that alone that killed it. It was I overpaid when I was at the auction because it just looked cheap when it was going across the block. And it turns out, at the moment, these just aren't worth huge amounts of money. I remember selling old shape ones with this kind of mileage on for that money before on 2012. So I don't know why they're bucking the trend of being worth more money versus everything else.